Welcome back for some more Star Citizen. I'm attira.kell, and I'm here today with Short Circuit, as Salty Cactus has had to disappear for a while. Alright, and we are standing again in the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo Hall for MISC Day. So, this is what the hall looks like. 3 halls plus holograms, and no small ships down below. Yeah.
Typically is what they are down there.
Yep. So, alright. So, with that, that's what the hall looks like. Let's get to it. Oh, gosh, I'm stuck. There we go. Alright, so taking front and center is the MISC Starfarer Gemini, or is it just the MISC Gemini? It's the Starfarer Gemini, yeah?
Yeah, Starfarer Gemini.
Yeah.
MISC's latest addition to their already impressive line of ships perfectly encapsulates
The spirit of this year's IAE.
Push the boundaries of the known universe with their new multi-crew wayfarer ship, the Odyssey. Get a sneak peek in the Holoviewer room, only at the IAE.
There you go. Well, we will talk about that in a bit. Durability and reliability. Yep. Durable, versatile ships. Alright, so the Starfarer Gemini. Oh boy, I think this was the first big ship in the game. If I'm not crazy. Pretty enormous. The levels were designed by an FPS like level designer or something, or that's the running joke. I'm not sure if it's real or not, because it's very chaotic inside. This ship was one if not the earliest large ship in the game, and it is absolutely confusing on the inside. The military variant is up armored. It's got larger turrets, larger on the top, and it's got the nice energy cannons there on the side, and it has missiles, which you can see there underneath the cockpit glass. This ship is primarily designed to be, well, it initially began as a refueling and refining ship for fuel, but has since taken on some new roles, or potential new roles. They have suggested now that this will be able to wrap out all refining gameplay, depending on what you select or modularly select for your tanks at the rear. So you'll be able to potentially refine minerals, and as well as stuff like hydrogen and other liquid fuels. And that closes out the game loop for player mining, with this being the refining aspect of it. And then also, this ship is just covered in guns. And the civilian version, I believe, also has these underside rear turrets as well. They're gonna also, so large crew to fully man all of these stations. Then they're also gonna have to add a refueling boom to this. So not quite done yet. We're gonna see how they manage to do that. But this ship will be able to refuel via refueling boom, which will probably take on a docking mechanic. And right now they've said first iteration you will need to be stationary to do this, and hopefully, that's not realistic, though.
Well, I think the civilian version actually has the boom, or at least the model for the boom, because this thing, at least it was listed on the website as like a military transport rather than an actual refueling ship.
Oh, maybe. But I think its core functionality was always military armored fuel. Yeah, this ship has large internal cargo. It has flies like a brick, but good times. It's an interesting ship. Does this maybe have the boom on it? I don't know. Let's run underneath and see. Where is there a model for it? Let's see, torch.
Here's on the civilian one. I think it's like right over here.
Whereabouts?
I think it's tucked along the sides on the civilian model. I don't see it here.
Well, that would be a waste, because there's you would want, in a military context, to be able to refuel in an armored ship, logistically speaking. So let's hope that they bring this up to snuff with their refueling boom. I imagine they will. It makes sense as a part of the modularity of the vehicle, so I think they will. Just my speculation since it's not here now, but I imagine they will. All right, so let's push on. We'll run around here to the ships, the smaller ships on the front. All right, so if this is the refining gameplay ship, right? The only refining gameplay ship we have right now, except the new Odyssey.
Orion, eventually.
Yeah, and the Orion, yeah, which is we'll be able to do all in one. This is the Prospector. So this is the entry-level mining ship. You see it's got little size 1 laser mining head there on it, and this ship is and it's got 4 saddlebags designed to drop these. So in theory, the way this would work is you would go out with your Prospector, you would mine, you would come back to your refining ship, you would drop the saddlebags off. The crew of the refining ship would then refine the materials inside, and then in the case of Quantanium, it stabilizes it. In case of other materials, you just may be refining it, and there's no real danger. But you can imagine there will probably be additional unstable elements come eventually. And then you basically put on new saddlebags that are empty, and you go back out and you mine. And so you have this long, persistent game loop where players can mine, refine, and then you could take the refined material, put it into a cargo ship, and go sell it. And that's kind of that game loop they want to do. So that's the Prospector. So if you want to get into mining, this is the cheapest price point you can do so. It is over $100. I want to say it's like at $125, but I'm not 100% sure. It is.
Yeah, that's about that.
It's about that. So that is the earliest price point to get into mining. Now, fun thing about mining is it's 0 investment in game to make profit. So if you want to make large amounts of money in game, like UEC, Alpha UEC, this is a no risk to your funds way to do it. Whereas cargo running, if you're going to get a large cargo ship and fill it up with cargo, that is all your money you're investing. And although we have new crash protection and stuff like that, it doesn't protect you from pirates. So if they blow you up, you lose all the money you sunk into that cargo. So this is definitely...
Later on, once they're operational, you can saddle somebody else with delivering your cargo.
Yeah. Once you mine it and refine it, somebody else can buy it off of you and deliver it for their profit. Mm-hmm. So, all right, let's keep going here. Let's run over here to the Razor. Oh boy, I'm getting some real gross. There it goes.
Prospector?
Oh, Salty's back! Yay!
Yeah.
So now we're looking at the MISC Razors. Salty is actually in our server. He just scarfed down a load of food quickly and was like, bye!
Yep.
Just put it in a bag and he's got it tied to his ears.
Yeah, so this is...
I still got the cert in front of me, but...
So this is the MISC Formula 1-esque racing variant to compete with the 350R and the M50. Really, it's an M50 competitor, but again, they've not really separated out racing classes. Between NASCAR and Formula 1 or Le Mans or any of that. So, but this would be kind of fit that Formula 1 look and feel along with the M50. 3 variants: a fighter variant, fighter interceptor variant. There's a racing variant, and there is what's the middle one?
Stealth.
It's stealth variant. No.
This is the fighter. This is a luxury.
Oh, luxury.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, the LX is the luxury. So yeah. So there you go. Stealth components, so you can get in and get out. Again, there's no word on... I guess you just have to use your eyeballs and screenshots if you want to do recon in this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all right.
One eyeball.
One eyeball on what's ahead of you and one eyeball down at the keyboard taking screenshots for reconnaissance. All right. So...
Like a serious YouTube vibe.
What's that?
Yeah.
It's like a serious YouTube vibe with like watching out and then screenshotting as you go, taking photos.
Yeah, or just get your OBS up and running, and you just whatever you can see. Yeah, I mean, you just get a nice video of the overflight, and then post that where your organization can see it, and then they've got it's like a Predator image,
Yeah,
or stream it, right? Stream it to your org via Discord or whatever.
In Evil Line, you can scout ahead for a fleet, and that's typically done like in a ship with a low energy signature, and you can bookmark positions of enemies, and those bookmarks will basically be transferred to the fleet, and they can see the enemies even though they're beyond their range.
Well, their last known position, or permanently see them.
Yeah, I think I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's the last position. Yeah.
Well, that's good times.
Well, but you can stick around to have an updated view, of course. Live bookmark. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the main floor. Let's head to a side floor, or one of the side halls. All right, here we are in one of the first of 2 side halls. Oh gosh, she just magically popped in, didn't she? How you doing there? She's a wizard, Harry. All right, so this is the Reliant hall. We have 4 variants of the Reliant. The one in the center, dead center, since this is IAE. This is kind of the well, it's not Invictus week, but it is IAE.
No.
So, but this is the military variant, the Tana, which this ship used to absolutely suck. But they did a rework of it, and since that time, it has actually proved fairly decent. They certainly gave it a good balance pass, brought it in line with the other light fighters, and and it now is a very good starter entry-level fighter craft. So, fun fact: this is kind of like the B-wing. So when you take off and you have two hull positions. This position, which is kind of like maybe what you would want for atmospheric flight, but then in space, the wings go vertical, and so that's fun. You can see that at the top and bottom, at the wing endpoints, are weapon systems. I think these are gimbaled size 3, right?
I'm not sure on those specifications.
Yeah, Juro's not here with us, but they're pretty big for a light fighter.
Yeah, I think that's size 3, yeah.
Yeah, which means potential for fixed size 4, which is an enormous amount of firepower.
I'm not sure if you can mount this fixed.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
either. I'm not sure either.
Because I think they're actually like integrated into these ball joints.
Yeah. But pretty cool, pretty cool. And if we take a quick peek inside,
It's almost Vanguard.
oh, you
worthy.
got beds. Oh, you
Beds.
shut your mouth. You've got a little toilet. You've got login beds for the crew. You got weapons racks. So this is actually pretty
Armor.
cool.
Armor. Cargo. I mean.
Yeah, a little bit of cargo there. Yeah, a little cargo pad. A little low poly. Good night, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, CIG, come on. All right. So that's it for that. That's the Tana. Let's come over here. We'll look at the Mako. So the Reliant Mako, I believe this is the Mako, isn't it?
I think so too. Yep.
Is the news van. So if you don't want to fight, you just want to record everything and laugh about it later, this is kind of the ship for you. So they replace all the firepower
Yeah, you got a
with
camera port right
cameras.
Yeah.
And then also this ship, I believe, has camera drones associated with it.
Not sure on that.
I think
Could
it
be.
does. I think it does.
I don't know if it's a camera drone, but I think the camera pod is supposed to give you a pretty good like perspective on things.
Yeah.
Is it? I
Also,
was
for some reason, I can't
always
get
under
this
the
up.
impression there
I think
was drones
it's
associated
unclear.
with it, but that's okay. Maybe that's kind of moved off. Oh gosh, I can't get the ramp down.
Hold on.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you don't want to drive this ship into the fray if you're covering a battle. You definitely want to capture it from afar. But yeah. I don't know where I got this drone thing. I always thought this ship was going to have like 2 small camera drones or something. But,
No, I don't think so.
but maybe not. Because
There's
I
no
thought,
drone bay in the interior.
well, they would be very small, wouldn't they?
Well, you can bring those.
You know, Salty,
Yeah,
in real life, we have drones the size
Yeah,
of a
full
747, and then we have drones that'll fit into your hand.
Yes. the
This
Hornet.
we could have very very small drones associated with this, and we can't
Yeah,
get it
but-
open. But I could swear there was a drone operator station at the back
Nope.
for
That's-
filming, but maybe not. Maybe
Well, I
not.
That's
think
the
that's
camera
like a
station.
remote camera station, I think is what
Yep.
it is. Because
Oh,
the camera
well.
is right here.
And you're
Well, the
editing.
Camera's on the
Oh.
end. There's a big ass camera right here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right here on the end. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I'm all lying to you. I could have sworn there was
Yeah.
something associated with that, but maybe
No.
not.
And if you had like a hand size or like a quadcopter size drone, that would just be personal gear, not ship equipment.
I mean, maybe. You go decoupled and you float out into space into the middle of the fray, and it's super small and not at risk because the likelihood of something hitting something that small lets you get good shots. I don't know. It's a good idea. Tactical.
Good idea,
Tactical
yes.
drones, man. Tactical drones. Whatever, man. I don't work for CIG. I don't get paid. All right, which one is this? Let's move on. News van. The Sen. That's the cargo, yeah?
No, it's
No.
exploration.
Exploration? I can't read
well,
it.
it's more science. though.
Light science. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. It's it has a microscope in the back for sample stuff. There's a scanner array here.
This one actually does open, supposedly.
Supposedly. All right.
Like, I get the highlight, but for whatever reason, it doesn't ever actually prompt for the open.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Maybe I'd always just rent them and go check them out in a hangar.
Well, light
it's not the
science.
same.
There you go. Science isn't in the game yet, so if you feel like starter science, yeah, there you go. You can. This also has a camera on the end.
No, that's well, yeah.
It looks like a camera. Smells like a camera. Quacks like a camera.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little different. It's probably just a sensor suite.
Maybe. Well, why clear then? Why be clear if you don't have to look through it?
I guess it's telescope.
There are things such as called as spectrometers, Kel, that require camera lenses.
Well, yeah.
Maybe. Okay. CIG. Spectrometers confirmed.
Wow.
Who knows? Let's go to the next one. Oh,
Just a
goodness.
core.
What? Yeah,
And
which
that's
is...
how we hunt for planets in real life, is we use spectrographic analysis to determine the elements and gases in the planet's atmosphere.
Ooh, well, there you go.
Yep.
All right, this is the Reliant core, which apparently none of these open.
These
but,
does.
but is this open? Hey, this one's
Yeah,
open.
this does.
All right, so this has got
Cargo.
cargo.
It seems like it's more armored than the actual town.
I was gonna say I was looking at the hard points, and this thing is ridiculous. Holy cow! So if these are maybe gimbaled size 2s and the other are gimbaled size 3s, but still, holy cow! four
And two
four
S2s
gimbaled
is-
size 2s and gimbaled size 2s under the wing? I mean, I think the gimbaled size 2 under the
those are
wing.
ones.
Oh, maybe they are ones. Yeah, those are tiny. Those are ones. So yeah, but I think the Tana has those as well. But still, that's
Yeah.
both of these ships have a lot of horsepower to them as far as fire goes. I think you might find that
Yeah.
the durability factor is what really makes the difference between the Tana and the core. But there you go. That's the Reliant series. Much better now than it used to be. So pretty good investment option for each of their size categories for the professions they're meant to go with.
Yeah, because
also
the science ones, they actually have, I think they're S2s under the wings, because they're definitely bigger than this thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they all.
Look at this.
Oh, hold on. Beep. Talk to me.
So, it's supposed to be not military aircraft, but that, to me, looks like an old school World War II pilot insignia.
What are you
Where?
looking at?
Right here.
Right where? Oh, okay. Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah. A clover. A.
Wait,
That's
where?
kind of weird. Right here on the wing. Clover with an A.
You don't see the 3-leaf clover with the A in it?
Right here. Just right above me.
right
right
above you. Oh, now I see it. Yeah. Oh,
I think
wow.
it's also on the top.
Yeah.
That screams what they used to put on the side of planes to designate.
It absolutely does. Yeah. That's silly. It's also silly because it should be rotated 90 degrees because
Right.
when the
it's
wing...
definitely off axis.
Yeah, because when this thing fights, it's the wings are up. So-
Well,
in the end, it doesn't-
well, in space,
Technically.
but in space. But this is one of those ships that the mobility of the ship actually works. So you could fly it in a.m.m.o like this, and you could fly it in space vertical. So
yeah.
well, you can do both.
sure,
It
sure,
works both ways.
sure. I think you're gonna get more lift and stability though flying like this in a.m.m.o.
In a.m.m.o, absolutely, especially once Thruster gameplay is completed and we no longer have the burn time for the RCS thrusters that we have now.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit the next hall. All right, here we are in the second of the two side halls, the Freelancer hall. So, standing in front of us is the primary competition, or sitting in front of us, the primary competition for the Argo Raft. And so, what was it, 2 days ago? Yesterday? Yesterday. Yeah. Oh,
No,
goodness.
no, 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
Everything in
Yesterday was
IAE
great.
blurs together. So, well, and then by that measure, of course, the Drake Cutlass Black is also in that competition space as well. So, used to be that the Cutlass Black only had the Freelancer base, which is this over here to the left, to compete with. And then the whole Freelancer line came out, and now we have an Argo entry into that size category as well. And so standing, well, I don't know where everybody is. I lost everybody. Okay, they're behind
Middle.
me. So I guess we can start in the middle. So this is the Freelancer Max with 120 SCU. So this is the larger competitor for you. So if you just want pure SCU size in this size category, then you're going to want the Freelancer Max, right? So you're going to, so again, you have the size 3, 4 size 3 bespoke hardpoints, meaning that you cannot change the size of the weapon. Although I guess you could probably go down, but you can't go up. I don't know why you would ever go down. And you got that rear turret.
Mm-hmm.
You've also got double the engines because you're carrying twice the freight.
Yeah.
And so if you were to go and watch the original advertisement for the Freelancer, you would see that these engines were initially designed to be VTOLs, but they are no longer designed to be VTOLs. And so, yeah, even though they totally look like they should rotate on that giant circular connection point, they do not. So don't be fooled by the advertisement. Yeah, this is the interior, right? So just a giant bay. This is a pure fleet cargo runner with 120 SCU. All right, so I have one of these.
The note is the prongs on the turret really hinder your ability to put vehicles in here sometimes.
So it's
And that's the
something.
same for all freelancers.
Yep, it's something they want to get rid of, though. That is like a persistent bug, I believe, that they've meant to get rid of, and they've just never gone back since the last. So they released all the Freelancers. Well, they redid and released the updated Freelancers, and this was a bug, and they just never went back and fixed it because CIG moved on to other things. So I think eventually they will go back and they will fix this and get rid of these rails. But right now, yes, this is super irritating. But
While it is a bug, they are physicalized, so you absolutely can ruin your day with them.
yes,
Yeah.
they will stop you dead in your tracks if you're not careful. So take it slowly when you're bringing your vehicle in. All right, let's come over to the base Freelancer, and then we'll talk. So this is 50% the carry capacity. So 96. So this is just on the lesser end of the Argo Raft competition. So let me hit the right button this time because I'm constantly hitting the wrong button.
Just realized something.
What's up?
There's no tarantulas anymore.
Yeah, energy.
When did that happen?
Well, they always
Yeah.
play with the weapons loadouts. That doesn't bother me too much. The only one they don't really play with the weapons too much on is the Vanguard series because they can't. They've got bespoke series of weapons. But yeah. So this comes with size 3. What is it? The
M4
F7 M6 or
They're M series.
they're M series cannons, size 3. They're always size 3. Whatever the size 3 M series cannon is.
I think it's 4.
So so half the engine power, but of course it's moving a lot less. You still have that turret up there. That doesn't change for any of the ships. And we come down, and then you'll just see that it's half the cargo space inside. And then that same bug. Had one of these for years before the Max came out, and I got it. All right, moving to the DUR, the Freelancer DUR. This is the, not entry level, this is early mid-game exploration. So if we come up, right, you've got Hurston attrition cannons on it. You've got these crazy looking side pods on the side there, and of course that is extended fuel for more range.
Yeah.
You also have about half the cargo space of the Freelancer base model because you have sophisticated sensor suites built into the ship.
Also because there's an onboard refinery or something like that, which can be seen in the middle section.
Yes, but it's strictly a fuel refinery.
Yeah, and I think it's for hydrogen only, right? Because this doesn't have a mining laser. Although maybe you could hand mine small Quantanium nodes and then stick them in there to refine. We don't really know how that's going to work, but that is basically seems to be, and we'll talk about this when we get to the irritant that is the Odyssey for attira.kell. It seems to be a trend now that MISC ships.
No, not yet.
Well, you have two ships. That's establishing a trend. We don't know yet, but that onboard refineries to extend the range seems to be a trend in MISC ships. So that's a decided advantage for MISC in the exploration field. So if we come in here and I turn my torch on, so you got a smaller section. Notice it doesn't go all the way to the front. You've got additional components here that are not in the game yet, I don't think. Oh gosh. All right. Who is this? Salty. Then you got this space in here, right? Which is
this is the refinery.
Cargo space. Yeah, but this is the refinery area, right? And then
normally it would be cargo though, yeah. Yeah,
it'd all be cargo, and then you have your airlock here, which has additional cargo, and then you go into your cockpit up here. So you do have, this seems to be the MISC trend now to have some type of refining capability aboard their Explorers for increasing their range. So
it could also be an efficiency thing. So maybe the MISC ships are not as efficient in their quantum travel as other ships.
I mean, maybe, but you would just put a more efficient quantum drive in. I don't, because that is a changeable capability. So I think it just has to do with, and it's a fair design choice. I'm not going to besmirch MISC on that.
It could come down to the micro-engineering that we get later on as to if a MISC ship can be optimized as heavily as, say, an Anvil ship or an Aegis ship for jump travel.
Well,
possibly.
But MISC is known to be reliable and all that stuff. So.
Well, reliable doesn't always mean efficient, Salty.
No, I know.
Fight! No. I'm the one that wants to fight today. You guys have to get along. All right, let's push on. So this is early mid-game. I would say maybe mid-game exploration. And then you have later mid-game ships are things like the Aquila, the Corsair, and oh gosh, is there another one? Another mid-game explorer? I'm trying to think.
You got the Corsair, you got the
Aquila.
400.
The 400. The 400 is in that category. Yes, it is. It's even got the cool table. Absolutely, it is. Oh no, 600 is much larger. So if you're talking about breaking it down, where Connie, Aquila, Corsair, and 400 all sit roughly in the same category. That would be mid-game. I think late mid-game for the Explorer would be the 600 series. And then end-game is things like the new Odyssey and the a.m.m.o. So that's kind of where this breaks down. This would be an upgrade, though, from any starter Explorer as far as scanning suite capability.
Yeah.
All right, let's run across the way, talk about the most useful of the MISC lineup. No, I'm kidding. Each of these Freelancer variants is actually fantastically optimized, except the base. The base is, you should never buy the base. You should never buy the Freelancer base variant. It's just not worth it. If you're going to run cargo, splurge for the Max. If you're going to explore, and that's the budget you have, splurge for the DUR. And if you're going to do combat and you like this ship, splurge for the MISC. right? Or
I'll have to
isn't
say
that
that any of
it?
these
MIS?
aren't good for combat.
Yeah, all of these are good for combat, right? The 4 size 3 gimbaled bespoke turret make them nice for combat. But this is the pure fleet combat. So let me hit the right button. Haha! Nope, didn't work. There we go. This is the Freelancer MISC. This is the missile/gunboat. Missile boat/gunboat. This sucker has half the cargo again, but instead of refining capability, it has
5 missiles, I believe. Or 4, I forget.
no, it has more than that internally. Internal missile capacity is like 20 something, I think. It's impressive. Now, I
The
think
actual size of the missile.
I think it depends. I mean, obviously it depends on the size of the missile, but I believe it is fairly impressive. Now, missiles right now really do not react well to countermeasures. They really get thrown off by them. So countermeasures are completely OP right now. So unless you're just gonna spam missiles out of this thing, missiles have a hard time locking on. But once they kind of, I think, bring that back into balance a little bit more, and some of these missiles have defeat characteristics, and they don't always get spoofed by the countermeasure, this ship comes back as a massive deadly threat again. And Short, you're right, this also has the M series size 3 cannons on it.
Yeah, because these were definitely ballistic Gatlings.
They were ballistic Gatlings before, so that's interesting. They could definitely contribute some space inside this ship for, God bless, stop running into me. They could definitely give some additional cargo space in this ship for ballistic ammunition. Yeah, so each of these, maybe it is 4, because these look like size 3s. But,
yeah, size 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's size 3 or 4, but that's a big-ass missile for a ship this size. So if these are size 4s, holy cow. Kiss your talks goodbye. That's impressive. But again, we don't know how this is going to look within the scope and scale of customizability. You might be able to put a bunch of size 2s in this rack, or size 3s. So we'll have to see. But yeah.
Metric Tana size 1s.
Metric Tana size 1s. Yeah, and maybe contribute some of this space back here for additional ballistic ammunition and bring back those ballistic cannons.
I mean, this part is still a cargo bay.
It is,
You can definitely put ammunitions here.
But interestingly, if you look at it, when you talk about the magnetic deck plating, it's only the center here. It's only the center.
Yeah, I see.
So there's not a great deal of cargo in this at all. Now, it can hold a small vehicle like a bike or 2, but not a lot of cargo. Which is rightly so. This is a military combat vessel, so
You can stick a tumbrel in here, but it is extremely tight to the point that it's not worth it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to stay on.
Yes. So, if you're short hopping, you're gonna drop it and then leave. It might work. All right. Head on to the next hall, or actually now holograms. Yep.
Yeah, going underground.
All right, and here we are at the holograms, starting on the furthest away from the new ship, and we'll work our way to the new ship. We got the Hull C. There are 2 of these ships, 2 Hull variants that are down in the holograms. And the Hull C is, I believe, the first one they want to release, and it got pushed back again.
Yeah.
And a couple patches.
Which makes the Hull A the first in the Hull series instead of the C.
Will it?
Weird,
Are
because
they going to
the C
release
is
the...
actually already has been flyable for a long time.
I
Yeah.
think they're still having issues with so the whole C is reliant on the new cargo refactor so that we have the larger cargo pods.
And
And I guarantee you they're still having problems with the spines.
yes,
Folding.
indeed, because the Hull A does not have an interior in the spine, whereas this one has.
Yeah.
Right. So you can see in the center section where all those cargo containers are, that is a hallway that runs to the rear engineering of the ship. And then this ship is enormous. And then you see that you've got the front area there where the bridge is and a couple of weapon systems. So this is almost all the Hull series are late game. So the C and up are all heavy freight, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are enormous vessels. Imagine the largest container ship you've ever seen in the world. That's what these replicate. I believe the Hull E, which is the largest, is something...
It's javelin sized.
Yeah.
but it's like 10,000 SCU cargo, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Right.
think
It's
so.
it's absolutely absurd how large that ship will be, and it will be organized exactly like this, with the cargo exposed to space, which means if you're under attack, you're talking about potentially a billion credits worth of, depending on what you're hauling, on the line, and pirates could literally blow it off the side of your ship. So it makes it behooves you to have an escort, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
With a ship like this, because you are very exposed and slow. Now, Short had a great comment that I didn't notice, but he noticed, so I'm going to let him kind of explain what he was talking about.
So they changed the way the cargo is situated. So it used to be on splines, so that you'd have basically it looked kind of like a Christmas tree, and you'd have the cargo slotted in there.
Yeah.
Now they have it on pads. And I guarantee you they did that because of the physics needed to actually put them on spikes versus the pads, because they can reuse tech from the pads they already have existing in the game versus all those different spokes folding together. And then also it's two-dimensional space, so these are going to fold a lot nicer and a lot cleaner than other ways.
Yeah.
Yes. So this will fold. You can actually see the break point down the center that's going to fold. And what's going to be fantastic about this, though, also is load-unload is going to be a lot easier
Yeah.
for the NPCs. Not that we care about NPC workers' rights, okay? I don't care about that, right? But when we talk about like the mechanics of a ship getting up and being able to pull one of these cargo containers off of your ship so that it can be delivered to a loading zone, this is a much easier setup because everything is just stacked and magnetized. You magnetize one crate, it floats into space, they grab it and go, versus having some complex spindles and spines and all of that. This is actually a fairly ingenious way to solve that problem. And you can actually see that there at the end, they don't actually have full cargo loads on this ship. There's room for more cargo, probably 2 or 3 more containers, 40-foot containers stacked times 3 on there. So, I mean, you can see that the cargo potential for the whole sea is just outrageous.
So I guess one way to actually tell the scale on this thing, so those cargo containers are the same size that the raft is going to hold.
Yeah.
So each one of those cargo containers turned is the width of a raft.
Well, there's also a on the engineering section. There's a door on the top, which has a little balcony.
I saw that. Yeah.
Let's see if we can
It's
get over
way
here.
up there next to the engine cell.
Yeah, there it is, right there, dead center of the screen. Yeah. Get out there with your FPS weapon and shoot people that are trying to come at you. That's also where everybody's gonna. That's also where everybody's gonna reenact Mandalorian.
It's maintenance access. Also spoilers, but thanks. No, it was actually featured when they had this new quote unquote model, flyable and stuff. They actually featured in, I think, around the verse. I forgot, or a CitizenCon maybe. But you could see a guy just waving on that balcony. I remember.
Well, it would also be a cool spot if they had one on the other side, so that, like, you know, Kel was half joking, but like the Animus rocket launchers do lock onto targets, and the Scourge railgun is capable against light fighters. So you could absolutely put a couple guys out there to help defend.
Thanks for spoilers.
Oh goodness. Anyway, okay, let's not belabor the point anymore. Fantastic new design, the whole sea. It's great. I like what they've done with the pads. Hopefully they can get it in game. I think this is very important to get this tech in game.
Yeah.
All right, let's head across over to the next one, which is the Hull A, which I think even by normal standards is medium freight, but maybe it's light freight. This is a smaller ship, or the smallest ship in the Hull line. And this actually looks like a fairly old model,
yes, this is the old model. There's
It's a little goofy.
Yeah.
Also, I thought this was the B, because I didn't think the A had spokes.
Nah, this is the A.
Yeah, that's a redesign.
I looked at the plinth.
Oh no, the B actually A has side by side, but the B has side, bottom, and top.
I love that engine. It's like they took an Anvil engine and stuck it on there and was like, all right, we're good.
Right. It reminds me of like the F-35 engine. It's just a solid engine all the way down.
Anyway, so this is a much smaller ship. You can see the containers. This is going to have a full refactor anyway, because I imagine each of these will be 4 40-foot containers. So,
no.
You don't think so?
Not.
You don't think so? It's going to be these small ones?
For that.
You're going to be these? I think it's going to grow.
I think they'll be half size. They'll probably be 20 foot, if that.
Okay, we'll see.
There's a picture of it in the newsletter.
A lot of speculation there on our part, because we're not big hull C, hull A, hull D drivers. That are
Hey, I got a Hell C.
a Hell C?
Sort of.
What is a Hell C?
Oh,
Well, he
All right.
isn't from Netherlands, so it's probably Helsinki.
So this is actually probably still going to be a lot of good cargo for the price, though. So if you are interested in hauling cargo, the hull A is a pretty good amount of cargo for a reasonable price on the CIG homepage.
yeah.
So the whole C is only a length of 22 meters, and it's only 4 meters high.
You mean the A?
Or sorry, A, yes.
I was like, I don't think that's right. Hey, look at this dude taking a selfie.
Yeah, I saw that too. It's weird.
That's weird. CIG, you're making it too real, man. You got to cut that out. All right. So that's the hull A. Let's keep pushing. It's good times. All right. So now we come to the Endeavor, which is end-game science. Now, this is an interesting ship in that it's modular. They've already sold a ton of the modules, right? So there's a hangar module. And they're not showing any of them here, which is a little irritating, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So basically, 2 modules per side in this center area. You
You can see them.
Yeah, you can see the attachment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they would attach, and
Bottom.
yeah, so you can get a hangar, you can get a science pod, you can get a hydroponics pod for growing stuff. And you can get like it's got a deep space telescope, is I think one option for exploration. Yes. I'm sure based on the trend line that we have seen, they will have a refinery pod as well eventually, so that this thing never has to refuel. There may be some type. So, but of course, with a hangar pod, you could run in a refinery pod. You could run a couple prospectors out of that to mine quantanium, right? And
maybe
then,
2.
Hey,
It only
not that
fits
big.
one cutlass.
it only fits one cutlass, so maybe you could
used to-
run one. So, but we already know that the way CIG designs these things, right? Just because you can only spawn with one doesn't mean that you can't squeeze 2 in, right? So
because the Prospector does have a very
narrow frame compared to a Cutlass Black.
So the engine mounts are put way back on the ship, and in the VTOL mode, they do take up even less space. So it's feasible you could stack at least 2 of them in there.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. This is nowhere on the roadmap. It's a long time in the making. But if you're into late game deep space exploration or deep space science and manipulation, this is potentially the ship for you. And there's definitely, they've talked about research, and we don't know what that really means. So it could be the idea of like researching new ways to make an FPS gun or a space gun mo better. Maybe ways to splice the human genome to give a player some type of tactical advantage, make him stronger, faster, be able to breathe in certain atmospheres. We don't know the length that CIG is going to go with science, I don't think.
Sort of.
All right.
Also,
There's
remember, it has
one
a
module
telescope
you
option
missed.
too.
Well, yeah, he mentioned the telescope, but there's also a large Hadron Collider module, which will be
Which is the
used for
science.
upgrading all weapons.
Updating all weapons. There you go.
And then you got, I think, like just some minor modules, like a utility module and a fuel module, just for extended stuff. But those are like.
Yeah, but that
only
fuel,
ones.
I bet money that fuel module will turn into a fuel refinery module, so that it can
It could be.
refine. That's the trend, right? I think that's what we're seeing for the trend. So I think if MISC is going to be the ship lineup that has built-in refineries in their explorer ships, I think that will turn into a fuel refinery.
Could be,
And,
yeah.
and that way the ship can keep going and you don't have to pay for gas. All you got to do is have a prospector on board that can mine you Quantanium, use the high efficiency MISC fuel scoops, which they are famous for hydrogen, and then you just keep on going. You keep on going. This is another ship, though, that you need protection for because it doesn't have a lot going for it as far as defense. And
Well,
last but not least, this thing, for its size, Salty, it doesn't have a lot of protection. This front section here detaches and can go planet side, but I don't think the entire ship can go planet side.
no.
Only this small ship in the front here can detach and go planet side. So you would
You can
basically
kinda see where it detaches.
yeah.
It's-
And you'll leave all of your pods, all of your personnel, your space farm, all of that in orbit, and and potentially at risk. So
It's simply
there's
unprotected because you only have this one turret right here on the back covering it.
Yeah.
so that's now I think they're going to hang more guns on this thing. Let's be clear, but that's just the way it is. I think they will because they always do. They always put more guns on things that don't need
And I'll
guns.
have a Perseus gun on it.
That's right. You'll have 4 modular pods with Perseus guns on them, and they'll make
The front is also more armed.
they'll make this the MISC battleship.
So the front is also armored comparatively to the rest. So and that apparently can survive being in the corona of the sun.
Ooh. Yeah,
yeah.
for more science.
And there are 2 more modules. You got the crew module, which can extend your crew capacity.
okay.
Which comes in handy with the other module, which is of course the hospital module.
Ah, there you go. That's right. Late game ambulance. This
Ambulance.
this
Just Salty actually
flying
debated this
hospital.
at
this is the
me
hospital ship.
the other day.
Yeah, that's the other thing it is. Correct, Salty. It is a hospital ship. This is the
because,
this is
I
the
made
Hope,
point.
I believe.
Hope,
You know,
the Hope class.
The Hope
Yeah,
class.
You configured. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's go to the last ship in the hall. All
The
right.
Endeavor copy paste, but tweaked it so it doesn't meet copyright strike.
Sure.
It's like
All
a
right.
Endeavor merged with the Prospector. They had a
Yeah,
baby.
like the front
That is-
engines are from like a Prospector, but then
Yeah.
like the overall silhouette is definitely the Endeavor. Yeah.
And the rear is also Prospector.
More Freelancer-ish from the rear.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, the
So what we're talking about here, in case anybody is wondering, because I haven't actually said what the ship is, this is the MISC Odyssey, MISC's latest entry, their latest ship line. It's on sale now. I believe the cost is $625 new money, and it goes up from there.
700.
Not new money. I think 700 is the base ship for concept with
Warbond.
not Warbond.
Oh.
Credit. Store credit is 700.
Yeah.
So this ship irritates me in many ways, and we'll talk about that as we go through it. But yes, it is everything they have described. It is the MISC design language, right? Which actually I really like. So this is a beautiful ship, beautifully well done. It is. It's funny because CIG completely borked up the stats online for height, width, and length when it went online. Right now, it is 140 meters long to the Carrack's 126.5, assuming the current stats on the web page are correct. It is 90 meters high to the Carrack's. I'm sorry. 90 meters wide to the Carrack's 76.5 meters wide, and it is 35 meters tall to the Carrack's 30 meters tall. So, I can imagine, based on this, that the drawback for those scale, because the Carrack barely CIG fits in the large pad, like danger close, OSHA violation dangerous, this ship is going to require an extra large pad. Which means that right now it will only be spawnable in planet side, right?
Yeah.
There's only planet side places that have, I think, unless they're.
Also,
Do the stations have extra large pads?
no, but you can dock.
You can dock
And
with
this
them, yeah.
Yeah.
But can you spawn it at a docking port? I guess you can.
I think that's what they
Eventually,
wanted.
yes.
Eventually,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So, So there are going to be some limitations with regard to where the ship can go. Yeah, beyond that, so the Carrack has a, right now, according to the website, right, 456, I thought it was 400 even, but 456 SCU of cargo. This ship has 252 SCU of cargo, so half the cargo space.
Yep.
However, and you can't really see it up there, because I can't get the camera angle right, but that's what's an extra, they call it an extra small landing pad, but it can hold a Saber Raven. In fact, there is a pack that you can buy right now that comes with a Saber Raven to fit inside this. So
Saber or Saber Raven?
Not Saber Raven, Saber. Sorry, I've got Saber Raven on the mind. I still love that ship. The Saber Raven's more attractive than the Saber, but no, Saber, full Saber, full Saber. Yes. So that's a big landing pad for this ship. I mean, that means that it'll take a Super Hornet. It means that it'll take, I mean,
well, basically anything.
Any
small.
medium fighter, any medium fighter can probably fit on this ship, which is pretty impressive as far as hauling a small fighter. So extra small. That means the Carrack must have like an extra small, because you can't, right? Because you can only fit the Pisces in there. You could probably fit 2 or 3 Pisces in this thing, if we're being real. All right. So firepower, crew they say is 6. The med bed, which everybody cares about because it's the only thing that matters, is a tier 2. So yes, you will be able to respawn in this ship, which is a big deal for Explorer variants, because you don't want to respawn if you die while exploring 5 systems back where you have where you have your home base set. Right? You want to pop back in your ship.
I thought respawning was only possible in tier 1.
Nope, tier 2.
They
Tier
said
2 and tier 1.
now?
Yes. I think they had to placate the player base, who were absolutely livid, because they did say tier 1 and everybody lost their shit, because that means that if you die, you will always go to a hospital or an Endeavor, which isn't in the game, and that is completely non-conducive to exploration gameplay. Like that is
or Apollo,
or an Apollo, yeah. So I still hold it. For ships of this size, Carrack, Odyssey, and up, you should be able to spend coin to put a tier 1 bed in it, but I don't think they're going to do that. All right, remote turrets. It has 3 size 5. What does that mean? It's got 2 size 5s per turret. You can see that there's 2 on the top, and then there's 1 down here on the bottom. Let's see if I hit the button. Can you see it? Can we see it? Well, yeah. Oh, it's tucked in there. It's tucked in there real tight. So that's going to be a limb fact for it, because the engines are going to get in the way unless it drops down. But it's under there. Goodness, I can't really get under there to see it. Let's see. Let's come to the absolute back. And let's crouch. Oh, man. Wow. It has a 3rd. You can see it in the concept art. I don't know why it's not on the ship itself, but it's towards the rear, so it should be down towards the rear. It should be visible. All right. It's got a, I think it's got a row capability is what it looks like to me. Roll on, roll off. Is there a wall in between the 2?
Not only that, there's no ramp in the rear.
No,
because that's a little window.
Oh, is that a little window? So, okay. Yep. All right. I wasn't sure. It looks like a ramp to me.
No.
Yeah, that's the viewing room. So in an exploration ship, that little slit is your primary means of visual recon.
Yeah. Also in the rear of the ship.
Also in the rear, so you're going to get light washout from the engines. Wow, maybe they won't do that. Maybe they won't. That won't be a thing. All right. So additionally, this ship comes with a. Oh gosh, I'm right in your face. Sorry. You can see underneath the cockpit there. There is a mining laser there, specifically size 2, so that you can mine your own Quantanium. And again, this ship will have a refinery on it, which is now, we've talked about this trend with MISC ships. They're going to have refineries on their exploration ships so that they can keep going. You have a perpetual motion engine here. You can refine your own fuel and pump it right back into your fuel tanks. And then, of course, these fuel scoops for MISC ships are highly efficient for hydrogen, so you can continuously fuel your hydrogen as well, which allows you to keep pushing until you run out of food. And then, of course, if you're pulling food off edibles off of planet surface, you can just keep going. So, size 3 quantum drive. size 3 fuel tanks. And that brings us to the last stat, and the one that makes me angry. CIG, you done fucked up. This has a capital class shield on it. One size 4. Unless they're going to tell us that size 4 doesn't mean capital class.
Oh, what?
What? I'm going over things.
It doesn't say actual like capital class.
Size 4. That's what it is. So unless they're creating a new tier of shield generator that is going to be somewhere between a size 3, which is a large, and capital class, they've given it a capital class shield generator. So right now there are 4 classes, right? Well, 5 really. You've got 0, which is on ground vehicles, 1, which is on light and medium fighters, 2, which is on your heavy fighters, excepting of course the Scorpius, which has 2 size 1s. And is billed as a heavy fighter. And you have 3s, which are on your hammerheads, I think the damn doggone 400. Doesn't it have a 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
3, yeah.
Yeah, it's got 3. It's got huge shields on it. And then and a room that lowers the temperature so that they can function.
Yep.
And then you have size 4, which is what we have on things like the 890 jump, which is a capital, and I think that's like it only has like a power plant and a size 4 shield, but both capital. I'd have to go back and check. So we now have size 4 shields on this, which take it above and beyond, well beyond shield capacity of the Carrack. And of course the Carrack has armor. But the question then now, and I ask, and this is what we were ranting on for 45 minutes before we started making the video, is how do you define a capital ship? And the only defining characteristic CIG has given us is capital class components. Because the Perseus, arguably a frontline combat ship, not arguably, it has size 3 shields. The Hammerhead, frontline anti-fighter screen ship, size 3 shields. The Carrack, military, deep space exploration, size 3 shields. And then MISC comes online and dumps a capital class shield in here, which technically, by CIG's only standard for what a cap ship is, this is a capital ship. So,
The 890 has S4s on everything. It's 100% S4.
is it? There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, and look, that ship is enormous. It is double, really, I think in volume, what the Carrack is, and by extension this, because if it's not really that much larger in overall size than the Carrack. And MISC tends to have a bubbly appearance, very bubbly, whereas Anvil tends to streamline a bit more. But that's not too hard to believe. So we'll have to see what the power plant looks like for this thing, and whether it's like multiple larges, which are size 3 components, or if they're going to give it a capital class power plant as well. Certainly what you can say, though, is this will have an enormous signature above what a Carrack produces. And it
won't have the teeth to back it up.
And it won't have the teeth to back it up. Now, those size 5s are no joke. No joke on those size 5s. But the Carrack still has... they have some pretty big blind spots. But the Carrack definitely has more firepower, more armor. But yeah, I think what I would prefer for this ship, and I've said this before, is for it to have 3 size 3s rather than a capital class, and so that you keep the purity of what CIG has thus far designated a capital class ship to be. But that's just attira.kell thinking about how things are structured in the game from a military gameplay perspective, from a fleet perspective. But if you like it, if you love it, go buy it. It will certainly provide interesting gameplay as a perpetual... Oh, gosh. Oh, why? As a perpetual exploration vessel. So, the other interesting thing is we don't know what the scanning suite on this will look like. So,
I think it's at the bottom, actually.
Also, this board contradicts the website, because it says it accommodates a crew of 7. It says crew of 6 on the website.
It does.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It does. So yeah, but we don't know what the sensor package is going to look like. Obviously, the Carrack is a cartography what do we call it in space? We call it a
Stellar
astro.
cartography.
Yeah, it's stellar cartography and astrogation. So it's designed to go out and find new things, explore, push the envelope. We don't know that this ship is going to have that same level of exploration capability.
Shouldn't be.
Because it's got a lot of other things that it can do, right? That the Carrot can't. So we'll have to wait and see really what CIG does with that sensor capability and how effective it is as an explorer.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the second wave exploration, whereas the Carrack is going to be the first wave.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's very much possible. Yeah.
And then, of course, like what we talked about, this is what I think they just don't want to classify it as such, is that this is going to be a fleet support vessel. It is absolutely not going to be used primarily for exploration.
No.
Because of the limiting factors, because like if it does indeed have S3 everything and just the S4 shields are there, I'd be seriously concerned about how much power and how much heat that S4 would put out.
Well, I'm sure they'll talk about it. We have not ventured onto the Spectrum forums to see the hate. I certainly have some problems with it. I'm trying to get over my problems with it because I love the look of the ship. It's beautiful. I'm happy to have Carrot competition out there. I think we definitely need to diversify in-game exploration just a teensy bit more. I think this does a great job of that. I do think that the shields are a bit much. I don't think this is a capital ship by any means. It's not going to have the firepower. It's not going to have the armor. It's not a warship, and therefore it cannot be necessarily a capital ship. But I mean, really, not in my mind, but the only real characteristic of what is a capital ship in this game is the capital cast component. And so, this kind of falls into that category now. So, but to Short's point, for refuel or a fleet support vessel, it really depends on whether or not this ship can transfer fuel in some way, in some meaningful way, to other ships in the fleet. So, if it can, then yeah, it's going to be a fleet support vessel, definitely, because it will be able to mine Quantanium, harvest hydrogen for hydrogen fuel, and if it can spill that out to other ships, it's going to be amazing as a fleet vessel. But if it cannot, and it's only for internal use to the ship, well, then we'll have to, it's still got a host of other capabilities, but that will limit its role, I think.
Yeah.
All right, and that's it. That is it. That is MISC Day in a nutshell. A long video for a prolific manufacturer. Any
thing, actually.
Parting shots? Yeah, parting shots. What's your parting shot?
Because it might be a capital-sized component. Capital-sized components need special shipyards to refit, maintain some things. So you are bound to basically civilization if you have problems with the shields.
That's a good point. If CIG keeps to that general criteria, which they have laid out, yes, then you won't just be able to pull this.
Shipyard.
Yeah, like you can
to refit.
Like everything under capital size, you can pull out yourself by some means. Like maybe those Vulcan drones or whatever for the bigger things instead of humans.
Well, and the tractor handgun
Yeah.
that will be able to lift certain weights.
Yeah. But capital size will not be able to, and it needs to, like dry dock.
So there you go. There's you another limb fact for this ship to think about.
Yes.
That is a great point, Salty Cactus.
That's a very critical component too, because without that shield, this ship loses pretty much all of its ability for offense or just military
defense, any defense, right? If you are stumbling around out there and your shields are damaged, and you can't repair it, and a Vandal patrol comes by, you're done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, no amount of S5 weaponry is going to save you at that point, because they can just pick you off at range.
Yeah. So you're going to need those shields up. So that's a great point. That's a great limiting factor. And another reason why CIG should reduce it to 3 size 3s. I'm just saying. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. All right.
Yeah.
So quickly,
Jeez.
we're going to do a quick jump cut because we've now dove in a little bit more on this ship, and it makes me even more irritable. So this ship, the Odyssey, the Carrack competitor, the Carrack all size 3 component competitor. So all large, which is the other way of saying size 3, also has a capital class power plant, capital class coolers, and a capital class shield generator. So,
Yeah.
from the perspective of maintenance, as we kind of discussed, this will be very hard to maintain comparatively. You will have to find a shipyard capable of repairing and replacing, which means possibly you won't be able to do it from your Moby everywhere, right? It'll be blocked in some way, right? But again, I think that CIG has well overstretched what a ship in the size category of a Carrack is, because they have talked about this as a Carrack competitor. So
Apparently,
So here's something interesting.
Talk
I'm
to me,
pulling up both
Goose.
their stats side by side.
yeah,
So the Carrack has an extra large radar.
right.
It does have one less medium computer.
So
Of course, it has one large power plant, 2 large coolers, and 2 large shields.
right.
It has the same number of large fuel intakes, but it does have a extra large fuel intake.
Intake?
Yeah,
Are you saying
has-
are you saying intake?
Fuel tank.
Fuel tank.
yeah.
right.
So
Yeah.
the Odyssey has 50% smaller fuel tanks compared to the
but
Carrack.
but it can generate
Right.
its own fuel.
Well, so
Yeah.
here's the thing, though.
If
It
you're
doesn't have a quantum tank listed.
No, you should have one.
It does. It does. It's a large. I'm looking at it right now. Oh, you a quantum tank?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So maybe that's
It
the
does.
trade-off.
Well, it
Why
says
has
it
a
says
refinery.
it does say quantum fuel tanks, but you're right. On the site, it does not give a size, so they are still determining that. And the radar for this ship is a large, as opposed to the extra large for the Carrack. So again,
No. It has 2 larges, so it has a redundant one, so you can have a cross signature versus relying on just a single radar for the Odyssey.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
2 larges on a Carrack. I'm sorry. I'm not looking at the Carrack page. I'm looking at the Odyssey page. Versus 1 large for the Odyssey. And the Odyssey has 4 medium computers, and the Carrack has... Are you still looking at it?
Yeah, it has 3.
3.
So
Okay.
it has 1 less medium computer.
Which kind of checks out for MISC. MISC is very sciencey, so that kind of checks out. All right, so there you go. That's the real deal. So we'll have to stand by to see what the quantum fuel and the quantum range is on this. If it's very
Or
small,
reaction missiles.
that will be pretty rough, right? If you are constantly fueling that quantum drive. But at the same time, man, it's going to be hard to kill this thing, and it's going to be hard to re-outfit this thing when they bring in dry docks. So, all right. And with that, we have people talking in the game.
Yeah,
There you go. All right. So with that is the end of the video. Another long IAE. We got one more day, best in show, to show
And
off
armors.
what?
And armors.
And
Yeah,
what?
best in show and armor day, I think.
Oh, best in show and armors. I was like, I'm so confused about what you're saying. Best in show and armors, yes. And yeah, so we'll go look at the mighty Argo Cargo in its new skin, along with the other 3. I don't even know what they were. It's the
Hercules.
Hercules. It was the Star Runner, right? Did that make it?
Yeah, I think.
And whatever.
Yeah,
anyway.
Starfarer.
What was the
And,
4th one?
600i, I think.
So those will be on the floor tomorrow, dead center, with their new paints for IAE. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more long-form content on Star Citizen. Come check out a.m.m.o if you would like to find a small private military company to hang around with. We play the game pretty doggone regularly and have some strong opinions, as you can tell, about what we think the game should be. And also, I will, if you're going to get a game account here at the end of IAE to take advantage of the last couple days of free flight, use my referral code it is also, there's a link down in the description as well that will take you right to the account creation page, and you will get an Argo Cargo Best in Show variant along with your game package. And with that, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around with us through IAE. Later.
Bye.
With courage.